Welcome back, you guys. I hope you are excited for today's video because I've been so excited to film this after I made a trip to Ulta and picked up a full face of Morphe products. I have never tried Morphe, and this is my first time taking a deep dive in the brand, especially since they've been bought out by another person and they are just like really pumping out all of these products. I couldn't help myself. I had to do it. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to show you all of the products I picked up. Like I said, it was a full face and there's some freaking hits in here, you guys. I'm excited to give you my thoughts. So let's go ahead and get into it. Before we get started, I just want to say, if this is your first time here, my name is Heather and I love all things makeup, especially colorful makeup and indie brands. And if you love those things too, I really hope you will subscribe. Stick around. Listen, I'm pushing through today. I've been home a week and I've been hit with a cold. I tested myself. I don't have COVID, but I do feel like crap, and I took meds and stuff this morning and now they're starting to wear off, so I'm bogged down. But I was so excited to try this stuff. There was no way I could wait another day. So we're gonna dig into a full face of Morphe, and this is what the after look is like. And like I said, there's some freaking hits in this video. I did swatches of all the products that I picked up and everything, and I'm excited to share with you how I created this look and my thoughts on these products. And of course, this video is meant to be for inspiration, or if you were looking for some reviews on some of these products, just know that everything will be linked down below in case you are interested. And thank you so much for being here. But let's go ahead and get into the actual look. Good morning, guys. I have been so excited to do this video. I actually, ever since I was in Greece and everyone was talking about how great the Morphe products are now that they've been bought out. So I'm excited to dig in. Like I mentioned, I'm sure I mentioned it in my new makeup releases video, but I'm sure I'll mention it in the intro as well. I've never tried Morphe. They never really drew me in before, but I do have this full basket of stuff and I'm excited to get into it. I've heard really good things. These palettes seem really promising as well, so we're just gonna dive in. So the only thing I have on my face right now is skincare, and I have on the Banana Bright Instant Glow Moisturizer from HENRIKSEN, and I really like this product. I've went through about half of it so far, and so far so good. And I'm also wearing the Merit Great Skin Instant Glow Serum. This is a new to me product. This is only my first time using it. Maybe I shouldn't have used it in combination with all of these new products, but honestly I couldn't stop myself, so just keep that in mind. I'll have those products linked down below, but I will say my skin looks very glowy. I have a little cut here from where I did my brows, so we gotta try to work around that. It pulled my skin off. Yeah, I know, gross. So when I went to Ulta, I could not find a couple of things. I could not find a highlighter, which I decided we're probably going to use a shade in one of the palettes. I could not find a primer. So we're just going to go in with the foundation. So we have the Morphe LIGHTFORM Extended Hydration Foundation, and I got mine in the shade Light 03C. Let's hope that it works out, but the claims on this one seemed really great. So it's supposed to hydrate the skin immediately for up to 16 hours, improves radiance, hydration, and barrier function after a week, long wearing, sweat proof, waterproof, and buildable medium coverage with a natural radiant finish made in Italy. So I'm excited to give this a try. I think we'll do my foundation brush on one side and then the sponge on the other. This is my favorite foundation brush. It is the Sigma Multitasker. So we're just gonna give this a shake and squirt some on the brush. I did do swatches of everything for this video, and in the swatch it did seem really nice. This is not the correct shade, but yeah. hopefully we can make it work. Well, is it though? It might be, because it's like blending into the neck. It just looks really white in comparison with all the redness in my face. I think this might be one that I like better with the sponge. So I almost always use my brush and then I'll typically go over with the sponge sometimes. But yeah, I might have put on a bit much too. And another thing I couldn't find was eyeshadow primer, so I'll just use something from my collection, because I do want to give these eyeshadows their best chance. But let's see, I do see the medium coverage claims. I would agree that it's medium coverage, and I do see the like kind of glowy finish, but the skincare could also be peeking through. Now, just for reference, I do have more normal to dry skin. It's kind of dry right now, and I have a lot of texture and stuff, especially after like being on the trip. I wasn't keeping up with my skincare, and I've heard that traveling can affect your skin as well, so that could be a part of it. But I am 36 years old, so my skin is aging, which is a privilege in my book. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys something to reference this by. I live in Ohio. It's humid here, but I don't deal with a lot of like breaking up and stuff unless it's my nose. That, yes. So we'll just have to give this a test and see. But now I'm gonna put another little bit on my hand, and we're gonna just tap this around the face and see how this looks with the sponge. I really need to use my razor on my face, but I was feeling lazy and I haven't felt like doing it. I'm actually kind of sick, but I'm on a cold medicine high right now, so I've been dying to play with this stuff, so I really wanted to. Now, the sponge that I'm using is one of the Paw Paw sponges. I love them. They're my favorite. I recommend getting them off of Amazon. I'll link them down below if you're interested. But they're like really affordable, but they're still such fantastic sponges. Oh, and look at my necklace I got with Sephora points. That's the only way you can buy it. It's a collab between Sephora and Bobble Bar, and it was like 750 points. And I usually don't spend my points like a lot like that, but I saw it and I saw that little baby lipstick and I was like, yeah, that's gotta be mine. Just to show you an up close of them, we have the brush side, the sponge side. Honestly, they both look beautiful, but I think I might like the brush side the sponge side just a little bit more, but totally works for both. This is a really nice foundation. So far, so good. We'll have to see how it wears, though. I'll put a pinned comment down below to let you guys know how it wears. Okay, so now we're going to move along to brows. And I picked up 2 products. And I'm going to do it a little different than how I usually do my brows. I usually fill them in and then use a clear brow gel. But I did buy one that wasn't clear. I have the Morphe Brow Tease. This is a fiber-infused volumizing mousse. They have 10 shades available, and I picked mine up in the shade Cold Brew. So I don't usually use pigmented products like this, but it's nice to try things that you don't typically do, because your preferences, at least mine, they do change. So we're gonna go in with this. It has a really cute applicator. Hopefully you saw it like good in the video I did. Maybe I should have wiped some of this off because it was a lot. We're gonna do this just to fill them in. I just don't typically gravitate towards products like these because they do feel a little messy. However, I did pick up the clear brow gel from NYX, the new one. I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm excited to try that out. I also picked up the new Tear foundation. Heather Austin did a freaking fabulous review on that new foundation and their concealer. Highly recommend checking it out. I'll link it down below, but she did a great, thorough, like 3-day wear test. Like she wore it 3 different times, not for 3 days, but it was great and she sold me. If you don't want to be sold, don't watch it. But that looks pretty good. I do need to fill in some here. Honestly, this might save me some hassle, you know, with buying. I keep buying like so many different brow products, but that filled in really nicely. I'll have to see like how well it holds up. Honestly, it's not too bad. I do recommend like wiping some of the product off first. And it is messy though, but maybe that's just me where I'm not familiar with those types of formulas. But next I got the Micro Brow Dual Ended Pencil and Spoolie. So this one is available in 10 shades as well, and it retails for $10, and I got the shade Cold Brew. The packaging on this does feel really nice. I've heard good things. I will say though, like you can kind of see there that it's kind of ashy, and I don't like that, but does it matter? I don't know. So I'm just gonna draw a faint line here and then we'll fill in. And then I like to brush up to kind of make it fade. Makes it look more natural in my opinion. And that looks pretty good, honestly, and they were a lot easier than what I typically do. Honestly, it's not bad at all. So after I do my brows, I like to go in with just a little foundation, and I like to use a brush like this. This is from a Glam Light set, this Friday the 13th. ColourPop has one as 2 though. It's as well, I mean as 2. It is the E29 if you guys are interested. But I do like to carve my brows out just a little bit. Especially, you could see where I did get a little transfer there. So I'll typically just go in with foundation, and then I will use my favorite concealer brush, the E02 from Singe, and kind of just blend. I think it just makes it look so much cleaner. So as for concealer, I actually am a little concerned this might be too light for me, but I was in between 2 shades and I didn't really have the money to pick up 2 shades right now, even though they do only retail for $12 each, and we do have 24 shades, and I've heard great things. So they have the color correcting ones as well, but the shade I picked up is Ivory 3N. So the claims are brightens, corrects, and smooths the appearance of under eyes, hydrating, non-drying formula, comfortable all day wear. And I don't see any claims on like whether it's full, medium, or anything like that, so we'll just have to see. I do like a more like full coverage concealer, but we'll make it work, you know. So I'm just going to add a little dab there, a dab there, and I typically like to put some in the corner of my eye because it is really dark. And then I will also put some on the back of my hand so that I can use it to cut under the brows. And I'll just use that same brush. And I'll just go ahead and cover this little situation up because that's a whole mess. And don't worry, I wash my brushes after each use. And And I like to let that concealer, like down here, just sit for a minute. That way it really gets its most full coverage. And then I will take my brush and just tap this out. I've heard nice things about this concealer as well, so we'll just have to see. Yeah, that's very, very light. I will definitely need to get the other shade. That way I can mix them. Hopefully they do come out with some more shades in the future if it does well for them. So I'll let that sit like that for just a minute. I know it's a lot. We'll make it work, hopefully. Especially with it being so bright. I will say that was a lot more product than I realized. But then I like to take my sponge and just tap over. And usually I'll have to like add a little bit more there. And then I use the brush for that part. So off first application, I would say this is probably more medium coverage, but I do want to see if we can build it up just a tad. Okay, so I do feel like that did build up pretty nicely to a more fuller coverage. It's not completely full, but it does look better. So before I set the face, I do want to do bronzer and blush. I have the bronzer stick. This is available in 5 shades, and this formula seems to be really nice. At least it did in the swatch. This is a soft, matte, medium, buildable finish, effortless luxe gliding application, long-lasting formula that won't cake, crease, or fade, richly pigmented undertone flattering shades. And I'm excited to give it a try. So it does have like that really glidey finish, and I think that's awesome. So I got the shade Flicker, and it was sold out in the Morphe part like of the store, but then I saw it at the front register and was like so freaking excited. I'm gonna use another F47 brush from Sigma. Let me do this one. I think that one was the one I cleaned today. But we're just gonna, I want to draw it on? On this side we'll draw on. And then on the other side I'll like do it on my hand. Just to try different techniques. And I'll just use my favorite. This is the multitasker, like I said. And it really is like such a powerhouse brush. And that blended like a dream. Maybe I should have gotten the deeper shade though. But maybe I shouldn't have. I think I do too much bronzer sometimes. Honestly, that's really pretty. I like to take mine along the face in different spots. So yeah, that's a perfect shade match for me. And the perfect undertone. It's nicely blending as well. So on this side, let's put some on my hand, like so, and then we'll just use the brush. That way, if you like a lighter bronze situation, maybe this will be your favorite way of applying. And you see it does add like that softer. So for me, I would definitely just apply it to the face because it's a lot faster. And I'm a very impatient person sometimes. Now for the blush. These look so beautiful. These are the Cheek Thrills Multi-Finish Face Trio. And this is available in 7 shades. And it's a really nice range, honestly. But I picked mine up in the shade After Party, I think. Yes. I couldn't tell because it says Cheek Thrills, but that's the name. So I picked mine up in the shade After Party. And I like this packaging a lot because you have a more non-shimmery matte type of blush, and it's a cream, and then you have the shimmery one, and they are both covered with the door to protect it and keep the powder from getting in it, and I like that a lot. But then you also have the powder shade as well, and these swatched so nicely, so I am stoked. Do people say that anymore? I don't know. I do. So let's use them all, you know, why not? Let's start. Okay, let's do this one on one side, this on the other, and then we'll mix just to see what they look like. So I'm using this blush brush. It is the DC one from Give Me Glow. I really love this brush though, and when I inevitably buy more blushes, I will definitely be picking up another one of these. I know they have several different types that they launched along with those cream blushes, and I love them. This is the matte side. I kind of took this over a little too far, so we're just gonna blend this out and pretend like it never happened. But do you see how pretty that looks? I'm just building it up, and as you can see, it is building up very nice, but I do need to stop because I am mixing, so I'm gonna have even more on. I tend to go overboard, but I love this tone of blush because it's kind of like a mix of, like, is it a blush, is it a bronzer situation, and I think that's beautiful. So now we need a new brush. I really like these as well from Bella Beauty Bar. Let's use this one. They don't have numbers on them, but I really like these like cream product brushes. So now we're gonna go into that center shade. This is the glowy one, and this one looks freaking gorgeous. I don't know if this is the right brush for this though. Oh, honey, she is glowy. So I would probably do the matte one and maybe a layer of this glowy one. And I don't know if I told you, but these retail for $19, which seems like a lot for drugstore, but then I try to remember it is 3 products in one, and this packaging is freaking gorgeous too. So we have the matte side. It is kind of looking glowy on top of all those other products, but it's also a cream. Just because it doesn't have shimmer doesn't mean it can't be glowy, and I think that is really, really beautiful. But then over here we have the shimmer side, and this is beautiful as well, but like I said, I do think I would prefer to mix them, so let's do that now. And then maybe at the end we'll like do the powder one after I set my face. I like the glowy skin look, but it just ends up looking like everything melted off my face in the end, and that's not really the look I'm going for. But here is the blush. I think it turned out really nice, honestly. Now the concealer is creasing, but I did put on a lot, and if I'm being honest, all concealers crease on me, some worse than others, but we are gonna set this whole situation. So let's do the setting powder. This is freaking gorgeous. Honestly, the packaging really reminded me of the Made by Mitchell, but the impression in that pan is so gorgeous. So these are the Cloudlight Soft Glow Veil. So I picked up the shade Dawn. It is available in 4 shades, and it is $16. And it is a sheer weightless multi-tone finishing powder, softly sets and finishes your look with a natural radiance, optically fades fine lines, wrinkles, and pores. That is a lot of claims, and claims that I hope are true, you know, because I need all of that. So I'm just gonna tap this out down here. Make sure it's all nicely set. I do need to definitely get a different color in the concealer, but we're going to use the Singe Beauty F04 and set under here. Honestly, that looks really nice under my eyes. So far, I've not like tried a product that I haven't liked first impression wise. Obviously the true test is how it wears, but so far I am really liking this a lot. I think it's beautiful. But before I set the rest of the face, I actually want to figure out what I want to do for the highlighter. And I think I have a pretty good idea. Yes, I want to use this palette. This is a Cool Tone Dream. This shade is delicious. That's what we're going to use. So this is their new 6-pan Cyber Chrome eyeshadow palette. And this shade is in the shade Crossed Wires. So I'm going to use my Singe Beauty F01. And we're just going to dip into that. Let's try it. It might be a little too chunky, but it could also still look really beautiful. I mean, it looks smooth in the pan and stuff, but it does have like those reflex. Hopefully they do come out with a highlighter soon, and I would bet they probably will. But look at that. That definitely works. I was hoping. These eyeshadows like almost look baked. These two shades in the center. Honestly, they released 6 of these, and then they released, I think it was 4 12 pans, and these 6 pans, I wanted them all. Like in store, they're so beautiful. There's a like turquoise and gold one. I almost bought that one, but then I looked and decided this one would go better with the other one that I bought. So I went in this direction, but I do want those other ones. And there we go. I like to go over it with blush, but since I'm going to use that powder one, we'll do all that in just a moment. Let's move back into the setting powder. So for this, I want to use my Unearthly Velour Poof because it's my favorite. And I'm just going to set the T-zone. Well, not just the T-zone. I do like to set like here, across. I always have to go back in and pat out these lines on my forehead. We need some Botox over here, but honestly, this one isn't settling, and the foundation isn't really settling into those lines, which already makes me like it. Most foundations do. Honestly, I really like this powder. I think it looks really beautiful. Everything looks like smooth and blurred. It's light. You can still see the life peeking through, but I think it's stunning. I'm excited to keep using this one. At first, I thought they were bronzers, and I almost bought the deep shade. Honestly, it might work for that as well, but then I read and it's like, oh wait, girl. They ain't bronzers. They're setting powders. Okay, so where's the blush palette? Back to that. So now we're going to go into that other shade. What brush do I want to use? Let's use this one from Lethal Cosmetics, the Dexter collab. They did a great job on these, but I'm just going to tap this in here. Is this Lethal? Yes. I was like, wait, is it Wicked Widow? I get them confused sometimes. But we're just going to add a little more blush. It kind of sets this, but I like going back in with the blush after highlighter. I feel like it just helps it all like melt into the skin better. It probably will really help with longevity, especially if you're someone who does have a more oily skin type. So now for lips. I feel so naked without my lips being done, but I did pick up 2 products from Morphe. The first one was the lip liner, and I have the shade Makeup Talk. It looks like they do have a few different lines of lip liners in their collection, but I really liked the shade and stuff. So, and I also love that it's a wooden pencil. I'm excited to try this formula. They have 9 options of colors available. Looks like they have mostly cool tones in this line, which I do love that. And they retail for $6 each, and the packaging feels really nice. To be honest, I'm not the best at applying lip products, especially lip liner. My Cupid's bow is uneven, so it makes it difficult. I like to do that. That way it kind of shows me where that line should be to make them even. And there's the lip liner. Like I said, I'm not the best at applying lip liner. I just do what I can do. So for lips, I also picked up one of the Morphe Drip Glass Glazed High Shine Lip Glosses. And I picked up the shade Beige because it was just nude and easy. And I figured it would go with most looks that I wanted to create. So these are $12, and they have 12 options available. And I've already tried this one off camera. Well, no, I tried it in my video I filmed yesterday, my second look with the Lethal palette, and I loved it, but I think I'm gonna like it even more with this. It looks so beautiful. It's kind of milky, but it does have like this slight pinky reflect, and I think it's so stunning. At the end, I want to try one of these, and I might be a glutton for punishment, but I got these in a gift bag from Angelica on the Trova trip, and it's 2 of the Hot Honeys from Morphe. I'm scared. My heart loves this color, but I don't know if my lips will. We'll have to see. So I'm gonna get this mess cleaned up, and then we're gonna move on to eyes because I'm excited to try these palettes. Plus, I got a mascara, a really cool eyeliner I'm excited to share, but I need to go find an eye primer, and I'll be back. We're going to get into this eye look, and I am excited. This freaking highlight is taking me out. Okay, so for eye primer, I just use what I have. I used the Sigma eyeshadow base primer in the shade Persuade. It is one of my favorites, though. I really, really enjoy it. I do have a code with them as well. It is HEATHERE. It is affiliated, I think. I'm not sure actually if it's affiliated, but let's just say it is to be safe. So if you use it, I might make a small commission. So thank you so much for your support. So as I said, I did buy 2 of the 6 pans. The first one that I picked up is in the shade, this is the Cyber Chrome palette. So these retail for $15 each, and as I said earlier, they're all like really, really tempting. Like, these are really, really beautiful. The packaging on them is very, very nice as well. But I also picked up the one in Sci-Fi. This is like a really beautiful pastel dream, and I'm excited to use them. So I do want to use them together. For me, this one would never be a standalone, but the one in Cyber Chrome could definitely be. But for today, I did want to just mix them together a little bit. So where do we want to start? Oh, I did get a free gift with purchase too. I got the M332 eye blender. So these brushes look very tempting. Like, I was looking at them like, ooh, I would love to pick them up, but I really do not need any more brushes in my life. I actually need to do a declutter, and I hope to do one soon, but they do look really beautiful. So I just wanted to give this one a try. I mean, I have it, might as well. So I want to start out with this deep gray shade, I think, and we're going to do that on this brush. And I want to pack this here in the outer corner. And so far, pigmentation is 10 out of 10. So for me, this brush is like too small for this. I would probably use it more for inner corner or lower lash line. I'm going to switch over to my Singe Beauty E06 and just pack this on and slowly blend out. This is a really nicely pigmented shade. My medicine is starting to wear off. I've been home since the 6th. Today is the 13th. So what is that, 7 days? Is that it? It feels like I've been home longer than that. But I think everything is starting to catch up with me now, which really sucks. Let's move on over to the E08, because I do want to bring this up. Just, woo, like, do you see that? This is really pigmented. See, I can't tell you if this is a different formula than before because, like I said, I have not tried anything from Morphe before today. But the reason I never was drawn to their eyeshadows before, because when I swatched them or I saw someone else use them, they always looked really, like, powdery to me and not in a good way at all. So, and almost kind of ashy. So that's why I never really wanted to try them. But that's not the experience this is giving. I'm going to move over to the E04. And we're going to press this up against the lower lash line. And just blend that out. I mean, this is a pretty deep shade. And it's blending nicely. It's also layering very nicely. So now what do I want to do? I think I want to dip into this Sky-Fi palette, and I know I want to use this shade, but I'm kind of thinking maybe we could do some of this as well. So let's go ahead and do the inner corner first, I think. And we're going to do that by using an E06 and go into this shade, which looks really nicely pigmented. It's not very bright though. Might not have been the best shade for inner corner, but we'll make it work. And then I'll use the E27 to add some down here. I mean, these seem really nice. Kind of freaking shocked. Not really though. I was shocked when I saw them in store and like how beautiful they were. So I'm not shocked that they seem to be working really nicely. Then we'll use the E03 and go into this shade. Kind of reminds me of Prance from ColourPop. But we'll just use this to blend around the edges. I accidentally took that up a little high. But I can use some setting spray to fix, setting powder to fix that. I'm going to use an E08 and just use that to like press this here, which is what I should have done to begin with. Because all I did was make a mess of things. But I did want this eye to be like really, really smoky. So I'm going back into that deep gray. I'll add some dimension back to this. This is so good. These mattes are really nice, you guys. Okay, going back into this palette, I want to dip into this shade. It's like a deep chocolate, like cool tone brown. We're just going to add some of this out here to add an extra layer of dimension. These are layering nicely. And I'm getting the depth even with just the one shade, which is nice too. In case you're someone who likes to do your makeup fast, which I know a lot of us are busy and have stuff to do, so these types of palettes could be really fun for that as well. Okay, so I'm going to go in with some glitter glue. I'm using the one from CLIONADH because they didn't have one with Morphe. Plus, I know and trust this glitter glue. It's one of my favorites. So it gives like the shimmers their best chance. I feel, ugh, guys, I feel yuck. This freaking necklace though, it's so cute. I love this little baby lipstick. So now I want to figure out what I want to do with the shimmers because I feel like I might have changed my mind. This one could be pretty. No, that's too dusky. No, too bright. I think I'm going to use this palette, the gray one or the cool tone one. And we'll do these two shimmers in the center. That looks like fun. I want to start out with a silver one. And we'll put this in this like back half of the lid. And then I'll just use whatever's left on this brush to kind of blend that whole situation out. But honestly, I think that looks really cute. Then we're going to go in with some setting spray. I'm just going to use this one from Makeup Forever. But I want to dip into this shade, the shade we use for highlight. It's really going to tie the cheeks and everything together. So we're going to do that on the E01. Give it a little spritz. The shade is more of like a translucent type of shade. Really pretty. I think I want to also take some of this on the side of the brush and just add a little bit right here. Put that in my eye. And then I just wanted to clean off this brush a little, let it dry off, and then pick up some more of that shade, and we'll just plop a little here for some inner corner highlights. So as for these shimmers, they're not like indie by any means, you know what I mean? But if you like a beautiful standard shimmer, one that possibly will not crease on you, that is still like really reflective, beautiful, and affordable, I think this might be a good get. Now, I have to like see how long it wears and everything, make sure it doesn't fade, but so far so good. So the next two products I have, I did pick up a double-ended liner. These look really pretty, and you guys know I have been on the hunt for some colorful eyeliner, so I'm excited to see how these wear, especially for someone like me who does have like really bad allergies and really watery eyes. We're gonna give this one a shot. So these are the Morphe Byliner dual-ended gel pencils. They are available in 10 different options. There's a lot, and they retail for $14, so $7 per liner. That's the girl math I do in my head. So let's do the one I have in my hands is Now and Later, which you remember the Now and Later candy, but I'm gonna do the deep purple like out here on this edge. My eyes are like so red, and it's going in the waterline nicely. I usually take the deeper shade like halfway. We'll have to see how this wears, of course. I have a feeling I'm gonna like this other purple side more though, because it's matte. This one seems to be like a shimmery formula, and those don't typically end up being favorites for me. Oops. And then I like to take the brush that I use the deepest shade on the lower lash line, and I'll go in with that deeper shade. Just do a little extra blending. And that's cute. Honestly, if I would have did a purple wing up here, that could have been cute too. But I don't feel like it. I like it like this as well. So, last product that I want to talk about. is the mascara. Okay, so the Morphe Make It Big Volumizing Mascara is long wearing and makes a big statement, giving you large and in charge lashes that won't flake out. So I have been having a lot of trouble lately with my mascara transferring. So, and it's all mascaras that seem to be doing it unless they're waterproof. So keep that in mind. I don't want to give a bad review on a product that might work for other people. So if you've used this or any of these products actually, let us know your thoughts down below. So we're going to go in with this. I do like the wand. And we're just going to give it a shot. Please keep in mind, I don't have, oops, I blinked. I hate it when that happens. But I don't have the best lashes to begin with. But that's not bad. It's not the best mascara I've ever used, but it's definitely not bad, and I have a feeling like if I let this dry out, I might like it even more. So just stay tuned. I'll let you know more thoughts about this product after it dries out some, but I mean, it's okay, you know? So this is the look. I'm gonna have to get these smudges off after they sit for a minute, but I'm gonna go finish this up real quick off camera and I'll be back. We're gonna talk about these products. I do have thoughts, and there are some, I think, some hidden gems in here that I'm excited to share my thoughts on. I am back with the finished look, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like up close before I zoom you guys out. Honestly, I'm pretty much really vibing with this look except for the lashes. I feel like if I were to go out today, I would definitely put on a pair of fake lashes to really bring the look together. But I didn't want to do that. That way you guys could really see what it looks like, you know, the way it is. It is so hot up here, but that's all besides the point. I want to tell you guys, like, what are my favorite products in today's video and what are the misses. Okay, so now let's go through the products. I'm going to show you what my favorites are, what are the okays, the bad ones. So the only bad one, and I don't really even know if it's bad yet. I still need to keep trying it, let it dry out some, and that's the mascara. My lashes look spidery, and I'm not getting volume at all, to be honest. It kind of coated them. It looks nice on the bottom lash, but not so much on the top. So far, my thoughts on this is that it's a miss. But like I said, I do want to keep trying. Honestly, the eyeshadow palettes are pretty good, especially for drugstore. But not even just that, the mattes are fabulous. I really, really enjoy the mattes that I used in these palettes. I think they're beautiful. And the shimmers are really beautiful too. They're just not indie. And it's like, once you go indie, you can't go back. You know what I mean? But they are still very beautiful. That one shade, this one, worked really well as a highlighter. My skin looks so wet and glossy and just gorgeous in my opinion. But all in all, I had a lot of fun with these, and I am interested in picking up the other palette that I told you guys about that really drew me in, because I had a lot of fun with these. They could be really great for travel as well. The packaging is great, but so far on longevity it seems to be good, but again, I haven't had it on very long, so just keep an eye out for a pinned comment and I'll let you guys know about the longevity. The powder, so far I really like this too. Like I said, I do have dry skin, so I can't speak for it for on oily skin. I suggest you check out some other creators that do have oily skin, but I do think this looks really beautiful. It looks kind of blurring and just soft. I think it's a nice one. I'm excited to keep using it. A lot of these products were nice. I really like the blush too. And as for longevity, I'll have to wait on that, but so far so good. It applies beautifully, blends nicely, seems to be a really great formula. I really like this packaging, even more than the ones from Patrick Ta, if I'm being honest, because of this clear lid on here. I feel like it just keeps it cleaner, you know what I mean? But all in all, I think it's gorgeous. I would totally be interested in picking up more shades. The bronzer, love the bronzer too. I think it looks beautiful, and I'm like literally sweating up here, and it seems to be holding up really well. All of it does, which makes me super happy. So this is definitely a 10 out of 10 so far. And then we have the foundation. Same can be said for that. I do need to do like a wear test and stuff with it just to see what it looks like. I am going to a Pride event tomorrow, and it's supposed to be hot and rainy, so we'll try it then. I'll see how it wears during that, and I'll be able to give you guys more feedback on it and stuff. But the concealer I like all right. I think it's pretty, like it looks good. You could tell it's a creamier formula, so if you don't like those, keep that in mind. I do have a shade that's too light for me, which makes it kind of hard for me to judge it, because sometimes that will mess with your opinion when you don't have the correct shade. So I would like to pick this up in the other shade, that way I could mix. And y'all know I love this gloss. This is my second time wearing it. I think it's freaking beautiful. I still want to keep trying the lip liner because I need to see like how long it will last, especially when it doesn't have a gloss on top of it. But I will get back to you on that as well. The brow products are nice too. I don't know if it's gonna replace what I do every day. I do like them. It doesn't like really hold them up, but it does fill them in really nicely. The pencil is good, but I'm talking about the, what is it, the brow tease specifically. It did fill them in. So on days when I'm like in a hurry, I could see myself really loving this. Could have been great to take with me on those trips that I just got back from. This would have been a great product because I wouldn't have spent so much time getting ready every day. But all in all, I think that's beautiful, and so far I'm really liking this too. My allergies have been really bad today. Like I woke up with a nosebleed and everything. It was crazy, but even though my eyes are watering, it does seem to stay. And I will say, when you let it sit for a little bit and then go in with a second coat, it really like amps up that color. Like you could see the bright purple in the inner corner, well, the inner part of the waterline, and I think it looks really nice. So that's everything. I did not try the hot honey things. To be honest, I'm up here burning up. I'm in enough pain. I feel miserable at this very moment. So like, why do more, you know? I'll try those at a later date and let you guys know. But I do think this looks really nice. I will say with the mascara, I'm starting to get smudging too. You can kind of see it. So let me fix that real quick. But yeah, all in all, I do feel like there were more hits in this video than there were misses. So if you've been on the fence about trying Morphe, maybe you would want to try out some of these products as well. It is nice to find good makeup at a more affordable price. I don't want to say affordable because that means different things to different people, but more affordable. And all in all, this was pretty much a video full of hits. So if you've tried any of these products, let us know your thoughts down below. Sometimes things may work for me and they might not work for you. So it really helps people out to be able to get more opinions, especially if you have a different skin type than me or preference and things like that. It's really helpful, and I really appreciate you, you know, leaving your thoughts down below. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out and it means a lot. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.